The other marketing you can do is if you're speaking at events, of course, you can sell from the stage, so to speak, or you can have a pile of books at the back of the room. Denise probably knows about this because she probably dealt with a lot of speakers at her events that they were trying to bring their books in and have them on a table at the back or something. A lot of events that you go to will have like a bookstore area where all the speakers have their books in this bookstore area and people can buy them. Some events will buy copies of books from authors in exchange for them speaking at the event in lieu of a speaker fee. So you can, instead of saying, hey, you have to pay me $5,000 to speak at your event, you just say, hey, if you buy a copy of my book for everybody attending the event, I'll come and speak for free, just cover my travel and lodging. So there are things like that that you can do that is also a form of marketing. The video stuff is good. Going on podcasts can be good, but it can also be very hit and miss. So I know people who have gone on 50 podcasts and they say, I don't know if that did anything for my book sales. Of course, if you go on Joe Rogan, then you might sell 1 million copies of your book with one podcast. It just depends on the audience of the podcast and if it's a match and if they have enough traffic. The great thing about podcasts is it's relatively easy to get on a podcast. It's hard to get on Oprah. It's hard to get on TV. It's very easy to reach out to a podcaster and say, hey, I have a book that I think your audience would be interested in. Do you have any openings? Can I be on your podcast? Most podcasters would look at that and say, oh, you've got this book that's coming out. Yeah, that would be exciting. Yeah, I'd love to talk to you. Let's have you on the podcast. And then you get to talk for an hour or a half hour or whatever about your book and plug it. And that can lead to some sales. Plus, it gives you good content that you can put on your website to say, hey, I was on this podcast.